So you were there with me the time I discussed this that got me labeled a misinformation artist by the New York Times because I demanded more information. That was my sin. But it's not about me. It's really about the holier than thou left wing right now, going after all the people who, yes, did actually get into the conspiracy theory stuff, gay lovers and all that, without any reflection on the egregious problems in the reporting and the journalistic approach to this case, really from the get-go. And I'll include the police disinformation in that as well. Who wants to take it?
That was an incredible walk through the changes in the story, which I haven't seen anybody really do a thorough retrospective yet on how things changed as they changed and who was involved in those changes, who was involved in reporting that had to be retracted, who was involved in reporting that we can now, because we have the video, we have the dispatch, say, who on earth was your source? Who was feeding you this information? That's one of the really big questions I have actually after listening to that, Megan, because people who say they've seen the video, people who say they've heard the audio, they're completely misrepresenting it. And journalists seem to have taken it hook, line, and sinker and run with it. So rather than criticizing you for asking questions, they should be criticizing themselves for not asking questions, because though the answer appears to not be anything close to what the conspiracy theorists were coming up with, it's a damning indictment on the San Francisco Police Department. And that's a serious story that everyone was glossing over while they were so busy just freaking out and being hysterical about the conspiratorial right-wing nut jobs.
That's exactly right. And if you listen to that dispatch call, Eliana, the one where they're sending the cops to the house, you can hear that the 911 operator did not adequately communicate to these cops the sense of emergency there. Yeah, he said, again, they say it was RV, Paul Pelosi. They're using RV as Paul Pelosi. He said it was his friend. So Paul Pelosi did not say that. The intruder said that. Paul Pelosi said, I don't know him. And so from the beginning, the police are, misunderstanding the story, letting out drips and drabs, refusing to just release the 911 call so we can hear them ourselves. And the media they don't know their ass from their elbow in reporting on the story. Now they want to dismiss it all as, these were trivial mistakes they made. No, if there was a third person in the house, it completely changes the nature of this alleged attack. People start to think, as I said in my memo, is this a party? Was this some sort of like a fun thing in the middle of the night between a group of people? Or was this a one-on-one attack?
There are a couple angles to this. The first angle is that if we had had the footage and the calls from the get-go, there would have been no theorizing as to what happened. The second is that this is still a strange incident. Paul Pelosi really handled it with aplomb. It was petrifying, and the police handled it terribly. Listening to that 911 call, I'm sitting here thinking, I hope I never have to call 911 and rely on these people to help me, because that incompetence was chilling to listen to. And, Megan, we have another police incompetence and misconduct case happening in the country, and the media's scrutiny and treatment of that is completely different from the curiosity, interest, and scrutiny of the police conduct or misconduct, as the case may be in this case.
The nerve of that police chief to come out and praise her sixth sense. She had no freaking clue what was going on in that call. Paul Pelosi had to hit her over the head with a 2x4 for her to finally get the fact that he was in distress. She clearly had no idea that she was dealing with the Speaker of the House. I bet you dollar to donuts this woman did not know that Nancy Pelosi is the House Speaker. You could tell. There was no the Speaker of the House. He tried to tip her off with Capitol Police. She still didn't get it. No, you've called San Francisco. Hello, he knows that, you dumbass.
And she was not saying, I know. And she was not saying, listen, sir, I am picking up what you're putting down. I will have people there as soon as possible. Her response was not indicative that she understood the sense of urgency here. And by the way, I still don't understand why he didn't run out of that door and into the arms of the cops. There are still aspects of this that strike me as strange and you don't understand. But then again, none of us know the way that we would react, when petrified and in terror. So the media rush to their narrative of the right spreading disinformation. It is like their binky and their safety blanket. That is where they feel safe and comfortable. And it's lazy and pathetic. It is pathetic.
So here's where they're going, Emily. Like the outrage on the left that these crazy conspiracy theories got started. Again, I mean, I laid it out. You can see exactly how it started. Had the cops just released that 911 call and that body cam video earlier, which they do in many criminal cases. Why are we looking at the body cam videos in the Tyree Nichols case? Because they released it to us. They didn't want it out, and now we know why they didn't want it out. That police chief was embarrassed. He knew that 911 call would not reflect well on that dispatcher and actually made him look like a liar too, because he went out there and touted her quick instincts. So now it's all about the Republicans and how evil they are and how they'll spin anything to make themselves look good. I give you as an example, Joy Behar on The View yesterday.
What are the Democrats supposed to do? Because there is no bottom to this Republican Party. The hole is not deep enough for them to go into to be disgraceful. But the Democrats have to take the high road because there are people like us and people in our audience who need a place to go.
People like us, yes. But that is kind of perfect because she's just being completely transparent about the fact that she's looking down on people who disagree with her, not just on the political level, but as human beings. Like there are people like us. But one of I think the saddest things is that conspiracy theories, this case study proves it perfectly, flourish and blossom in the absence of good reporting and in the absence of government transparency. Like in the case of taking so long to release the information that we knew the police department had all of this time. That's how you get conspiracy theories. And for the media to make its primary narrative in this case, not the secondary narrative, the primary narrative is about debunking right-wing conspiracy theories. I think Eliana made such an interesting comparison with the Tyree Nichols case. It shows that the media isn't completely partisan in its biases. It's just whatever is convenient for them at any given moment. If this is convenient for them, if it's convenient for them to attack the police, they'll attack the police. If it's convenient for them to protect the police and attack conservatives, that's what they'll do, because it's just like they're fish swimming in a school and just going towards the shiny objects instead of doing their damn jobs and chasing the truth rather than a narrative.
Why don't they ask more questions? The reason in this case was, as I stated, I believe, they liked the existing narrative. They did not care to understand it any better. They had the facts they liked. The guy had QAnon postings on his most recent website. And forget the BLM stuff, the LGBTQ stuff, the nudist stuff, the San Francisco stuff. Forget all that. He was a QAnoner. He was a Trumpster. That's what they want us to believe. And he was out to commit political violence against the House Speaker and or her husband. That last piece of it was true. I mean, he was there to commit violence against the Pelosi's, and he was very angry with Nancy Pelosi. So that piece is true. But to blame it on the Republicans was their main goal, because we're about to have a midterm election. At that point, the Democrats still thought that it was going to be a bloodbath. And they wanted anything to switch the narrative, to change their fortunes, Eliana. That's why they were so incurious.
I agree. And I do think that the media tends to take whatever set of facts and jam it into a pre-existing narrative. In this case, it was the set of facts in the Pelosi case, which were complicated and confusing, jammed into a right-wing disinformation conspiracy theory narrative, which is a favored mainstream media narrative. And you can see it happening in the Tyree Nichols case, which I know we're going to get to, which is, police violence, and we have a white supremacy problem in the police department. Even when the officers in the case are Black, the facts are jammed into the easy and favored and pre-written narrative. There's a real failure to grapple with complexity. And I think, we see that time and again. And the other thing that I don't think we see from the mainstream media is that, for people like us, there's a natural distrust of them because they have been wrong. And they seem not to understand why there's a natural skepticism of the storylines that come from the New York Times, the Washington Post, Politico. What they have told us has been incorrect, and there has been no reckoning with the failures and the mistakes and no accountability. And yet they're appalled and look down on and sneer at us for questioning the narratives that come from them.
And it's going to keep happening. I'll give you this little ditty from Alyssa Farah, who, as far as I can tell, has accomplished, let me check my notes, nothing. On The View yesterday lumping, from the sound of it, me in with Elon Musk. Listen.
The people who spread these conspiracy theories, whether it's Elon Musk, Megyn Kelly, and others, they should be ashamed of themselves.
Okay, I am not ashamed of myself, Miss. I've never accomplished anything in my life, though my father appears to have been somebody. I am actually really proud of the fact that I actually ask questions and seek out facts. You should try it at ABC. You, from your little third base spot on The View, a failing show that deals every day in disinformation, should take a seat when it comes to advising actual journalists as to how to report the news. As far as I can tell, she's never accomplished anything and she doesn't know how to do it. If she does, there's no evidence of it on that daily show from her or her colleagues. But this is why shit like this is actually pernicious, right? It's like the New York Times, this show, try to shame reporters who actually did ask questions out of doing so. How do you think we got those tapes? How do you think we ultimately got them? News organizations filed lawsuits demanding that they be released. The New York Times, that shamed me for asking for more information, joined in the case, but won't retract its smear of me, right? This is how they try to shame you out of staying on these paths of inquiry. And it's not about me. I don't really give a shit what The View says about me or the New York Times either. What I care about is the lesson that they're trying to teach anyone who actually does want to question narratives. For many parts of the country, February weather is cold and unforgiving. The days are short, the sunlight can be hard to come by, and those days relaxing by the pool seem so far away. But when you have a Michael Phelps swim spa by Master Spas, you can enjoy the best of a pool with the therapy of a hot tub, even right smack dab in the middle of winter. Michael Phelps swim spas come in a variety of sizes to complement almost any yard, even if it's a tiny one. Michael Phelps swim spas by Master Spas have a water current so you can swim, do aquatic exercises, and have fun with the kids. This is going to reinvent your family time. The water buoyancy will relieve pressure on your aching joints. You can enjoy pure relaxation in the massage therapy seats of the swim spa. And since it's heated, you can use it year-round in any climate. Michael Phelps swim spas are 100% made in the USA by Master Spas, the world's largest swim spa manufacturer. You will love your Michael Phelps swim spa by Master Spas. Go to masterspas.com, put in the promo code MK to save $1,000 on a Michael Phelps swim spa or $500 on a Master Spas hot tub. Masterspas.com, promo code MK. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.